Welcome back to the ALG podcast. I hope that you are all having a great week. By the time you're listening to this, it is Friday afternoon, so happy Friday. With me today is a very special guest, the homie Keto D, David Herrera, and I'm also joined by my partner in crime, David Roden, fit_D-Rock, and I am JR's Journey, aka John Arpino, and today we bring you a very dope episode. David,
I gotta say this. Hold on, because
Right.
this is how it is. So, like, I just told John he's got to work on his mic at the beginning, and this time he came in like, and we're here for an after.
Well, I don't know. Are you going to order a cocktail? Like, I don't know. We could redo the whole beginning if you want.
No,
I'll give you the energy they deserve. See, people are like, "Oh, it's Friday," and he's talking like.
Well, see, you
it's
can
Tuesday.
talk intense. You just can't talk intense so close to the mic.
Anyway, we're here with David Herrera, the better David of this group today. So yes, hit the buys. How are we today? What's up, Keto D? Better known as Keto D in the weight loss Instagram community. Excuse me, my light just went off, so we're already having problems.
Roll with the punches, brother.
Roll with the punches.
Always. So what's crack-a-lacking? How's
Chilling,
it doing down
man,
there?
chilling. How you guys doing today?
Oh, you know.
I am phenomenal. I have added some carbs back into my life, as you just heard. So some late night chocolate chip oatmeal is like my go-to right now.
That sounds amazing.
It is delicious. It's like you're cheating, but you're not. Like it's just some no sponsorship connected, but it's Kodiak. I do 1 packet of Kodiak oatmeal with whole oats. And then a serving of whole oats, and then a little bit of sugarless syrup, and it is delicious.
That's my Kodiak cake. It's oatmeal.
Yeah, Kodiak cake, but it's oatmeal. So just a little higher in protein.
Very
Oh, and then I had to skip. Obviously, I had to skip scoop of protein as well, but that's obvious.
That's like me with my Quest. Like I just had a Quest protein shake right now, and after my meal, my wife was like, "You're eating again?" And I'm like, I mean, I'm in my eating window, so gotta squeeze it all in.
So I guess we'll just hop right into it. I mean, does that mean that you are messing with the intermittent fasting?
Oh no, I've been since the very beginning of my journey. I actually started doing intermittent fasting before keto. My brother had been doing intermittent fasting. I've had several friends that were doing intermittent fasting, so it was starting to come up. And I decided to look into it, and I was like, okay, it's not a diet. It's just a time pattern of when you eat,
right?
Even breakfast, like break fast, right. So it's, we're not meant to be eating, every couple of hours, 6 meals a day, nothing like that. So I found that, just pushing back the time of when I eat or have any type of calories has been very beneficial for me as far as, with the keto. And, like going to the gym, sauna use, water, like it's just been, all little pieces to the puzzle. But yeah, intermittent fasting has been there since the very, very beginning.
Okay.
Awesome.
Question for you. So like, I've been following you now for a few months on the good old gram. Give us a thumbnail sketch of the eagle overview of your story, and then I'm excited to pump into the beginning of it to like really dive into. It's like just hearing that Gormy. I had no idea that Gormy went to. Where did Gormy go to school?
San Diego.
Yeah. No, well, he just moved to San Diego. Where did he go to school?
Yeah,
Cornell.
He went to Cornell.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wait,
I
when
know.
Did we talk about this?
I mean,
right before you got on.
Yeah, that I
really?
know.
Oh, I had no idea.
If that's true, like we got to confirm it through Gormy.
Confirm it, but I'm like 99.9% sure that he went to Cornell.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued to know the depths of your story as well, because it's gonna be fun to hear that. So give us that overview so I have an understanding, and then I'm pumped to dive in.
Awesome. Well, basically born into a Cuban American family. I was the only one that was obese in my family. Most of that, I guess, would have to be due to, being asthmatic when I was a child. I was asthmatic from the age of 2 years old to 9. I don't really have as much memory of when it all went down, just certain things. I do know that I had to get, shots every couple of weeks, which of course had steroids in them. I remember wearing a nebulizer, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I remember being called in as a kid when I was playing outside with my friends, and my mom was like, all right, put the machine on. And I'm just, sitting there watching Nickelodeon and, like looking at my friends play, manhunt outside or something going on.
Right.
And just sitting there dealing with that. I remember having a asthma attack in Disney.
Oh.
Yeah. Not at Disney, but like at the All-Star Sports Resort with family, and went to sleep at night. Next thing I know, I can't breathe. And the next thing you know, I black out and wake up, and ambulance and hotel staff, family, like it was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I dealt with, everything. Bullying. They caught a couple knuckles if they bullied me. That's how my dad, told me, don't let nobody disrespect you no matter what. If you get into a fight, in school, we'll figure it out, but just don't let nobody, disrespect you or nothing like that. So of course I dealt with a lot of bullying. Baseball is the family sport. So I played that since 4 years old till about like 17, 18 years old, always on the big side.
Mm-hmm.
Never took health seriously or didn't even know what nutrition was or anything of that sort. And then after high school, it just got worse and worse. I picked up, working in restaurants, serving tables, bartending, stuff like that. And it was just constant eating and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I fell in love with coaching special needs and working with adults with intellectual disabilities. And I got into that field and coaching Special Olympics. And around 2011, I had a big weight loss. I think my peak was like 375. And then I got down to probably 250 around there. But I just ate decent, I guess.
Right.
I didn't really know much about nutrition. I just, brown rice and just vegetables and protein, stuff like that. Didn't really, know much about liquid calories or whatever. I was drinking muscle milk and thinking it's helping me, still eating, not knowing too much, but, I was active with, the coaching, and I'm the type of coach that, especially, working with special needs, you can't just be like, all right, guys, give me 4 laps or let's do sprints or whatever. Most of the time you got to demonstrate stuff. Mm-hmm. So I took it as, let me get my workout in with them and just do it with them. And if they're hurting, I'm hurting. So I just started doing that, and then the weight fell off. And then, between working in the restaurants, being single, and doing whatever I wanted, I went from getting 250 to then gaining a whole bunch of weight back and got to 350. And around January 2019, I had already been with my wife a little while at that time, and we had tried HCG. I know that we had spoke about that very briefly.
You did HCG too?
And Dusty.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, we had done HCG, my wife and I, and we did it for, a wedding, for an event to get ready for. I still had not taken health and, all that stuff seriously just yet. I just, need to look good for this event. And so the first time we did it, and it was the revised one. It wasn't the 500 calorie one. I think the new one, is 1,200 calories, if I'm not mistaken. You take the drops under your tongue, and then I had the drops for B12, vitamin B12 as well. So I was doing that, and first time around, I lost 50 pounds, and I was really happy, but the diet sucked because it was just very limited. It was horrible.
Right.
So, we did it, and then after that, we fell off, because it was a quick fix, I guess. Yep. Fell off, and then we tried several times after that. It was not successful, and then kind of keto was the up and coming thing. I had friends that were doing keto. She had friends that were doing keto. So I just looked into it. I was already doing fasting. It was kind of my mind maturing, me getting into my 30s, enough's enough. I had fun in my 20s. I ate whatever I wanted. I did whatever I wanted. Now it's time, to start building a foundation and everything. And I want to, get married. I want to have kids. I want to have all those things that life has to offer. And I can't do that being the size that I was. And, I was already, I had developed gout on my toe. I had sleep apnea. It was bad. I was scaring the hell out of my wife. And, she would record me, not breathing. And it was really bad. So we attacked keto. And when I went from HCG to keto, it was so many options compared to HCG.
So you went straight.
Of course, yeah.
So you went straight from HCG to keto, or you you fell off and then gained weight?
No. I was in the middle. Like I was in the middle because you know how with HCG you first start, the first 2 days are loading days or whatever.
Yep.
And then after that, you go into like you shock your body and you drop your calories and everything drastically. Well, I was already in the middle of that, and it just wasn't working. So basically, just from one day to the next, we just got a grocery list of keto and just went to the grocery store and just did the best we can. We started the journey. And then that plus, you know, we had moved into my parents' complex. You know, they had a spare bedroom. We were saving money, you know, stuff young couples do. So we moved in and, you know, my parents have a gym, sauna, the whole nine downstairs, basically. So I told myself, this is a new chapter, starting keto. I'm already doing fasting, you know, and I'm going to live at the gym. Like, I'm going to change my habits. You have to make change in order for this to work. And I'm not going back. Like, I'm seriously taking the turn, you know, rounding second base, heading for 3, and I'm going to head home.
Right.
You feel me? Like, that was my, you know, I'm going to get the body that I know that I have been wanting for a long time. And I just became a mad scientist with it, man. I started doing recipes, you know, I lived in the gym. I was, you know, putting my body through it every single day. So it was just all those things, you know, making sure I got water, you know, meeting Gormy, meeting Poro, meeting you, you know, eventually meeting David now. Like, this is, it's brought so much, man. And like, look, yesterday I was with Poro and Aaron crushing keto 84. Like a couple of years ago, I didn't know these guys, man. And it's brought so much, man. The coaching, now that I'm coaching, like it's just brought so much to my plate, and it's changed my whole life, man.
Okay. Oh, and then, so what's the timeline with that? Like from when you went from like HGG to keto and then thriving on keto, what's the timeline and how much weight did you lose?
Well, I started, I think, HCG probably all of 2018 I spent doing HCG. And then around the holidays, I was doing HCG. And then December to January, it was like, okay, starting January 1st, we're starting keto.
Okay.
So it was really like an overnight thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I mean, we had already thought about it for a couple of days. We like already had a plan, you know, do the groceries and the whole nine. And then January 1st, we started. Honestly, you know, I did good for the first month. And then around Valentine's Day, 2019, I had a coworker's wedding. And that was the first time that I cheated. So I wasn't deep in. I know I wasn't fat adapted yet. And I was still going to the gym or whatever, but I don't feel like that was a legit start. So I always tell people that I legit started like Valentine's Day 2019.
Okay.
From there to May of 2019, no cheats. And that was a destination wedding, my wife's best friend in Dominican Republic. Yeah, I wanted to look good for that. There was an event coming up, but it was more of like I was too deep in already, and it became a lifestyle, dude.
Of course.
And I had specifically a Sandlot button-down shirt with the great Hambino on it. And it was a 3XL, but one of those tight, like button-down shirts were always horrible for me because it would say 3XL, but it's not.
Yeah.
So I would
2.5.
And I would always leave it open because it wouldn't close. And I told myself, I'm going to wear that shirt when we take off for DR. And I wore it to, you know, to the airport or whatever, and to the ride over there, and it closed completely. And I was already down like 75 pounds.
Wow.
You know, by that time. So from February to May, I was down 75 pounds. And it was awesome, man, because I was just getting compliments left and right. You know, we took a lot of pictures of the Dominican Republic. You know, we had a great time. And it's funny that those pictures now are like my befores.
Of course. Yeah. And you were, so that was what, 75 pounds in 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. That's insane. Yeah. And you were having zero success on the HCG.
Well, like I said, the first time around, I took it seriously. And then the second time it was just because it's torture, because you're brought down to 1,200 calories, yet it's not just the 1,200 calories. I can make 1,200 calories look really good.
Oh, right. Of course.
But there was a list of food that you had to eat. So
Right.
it was very, very limited. Like I remember at one time it was like a lettuce leaf, a little piece of chicken tenderloin, and mustard, and that's it. Like I was working at Texas Roadhouse at the time, and my coworkers were seeing me get just plain old lettuce, some steak, and just mustard, and eating that. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "HCG." And they're like, "That looks like depressing." I'm like, "The steak looks good, but it's just there's not much in there."
That blows my mind, because it's like, because we always talk about it. It's like, I don't want to play the game of this is the way you have to do it. But you sit there and it's like, how many people have actually been long-term sustainable off of the HCG system is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, no, I will say that HCG is not the way to do it, guys.
Yeah, like I had a buddy of mine, and he had done it. He had success on it, but he told me the minute you get off of it, you're gonna gain all the weight back because it's not sustainable.
Right.
So that was my thing. Out of all the things that I've tried throughout my life, and believe me, like I've tried it all: Slim Fast, the freaking Jenny Craig,
Right.
I've tried it all. I've done acupuncture. I've gone to go see, and I respect the people that make the decision to do the surgery, because that right there is not an easy decision to do gastric bypass surgery. My aunt and uncle did it, and you have to mentally be ready for that. You get me? And I wasn't mentally ready for that. Like I just wasn't. And then with keto, I don't know, it just clicked. Like when I went from ACG to keto and I saw the grocery list of keto, I was like, I can have burgers, I can have cheese, I can have eggs. Like, this is amazing. I have so many options. So, and then I had to work with those options, and then it just evolved after that. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have burgers and bacon and, cheese every day. No, I have my vegetables, and I eat, for the most part, pretty clean keto during the week. And then on the weekend is when I'll have like Quest cookies, keto ice cream, stuff like that.
Right. Okay. It's actually kind of fascinating because, like, at least from the sound of it, you kind of fell into it and ran with keto with not a lot of, like, how do I want to say this? Not a lot of like inspirational of like, I'm going to get myself to 225. Here we go. It was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was just like, hey, I got to do something. This keto sounds pretty cool. I'm just going to run with it and see what happens.
Yeah. Like I didn't go into it thinking, dude, I told myself, I was like, I have over 100 pounds to lose. This is going to take forever. And I just thought it was just going to be another diet. But as I just kept on reading more information about it. I started looking up YouTubes. You just become older, bro, and you just start doing more research. I started listening to podcasts. I picked up that habit as much. Like now when I work out, like I listen to you guys. I listen to Cormy.
I appreciate that.
I listen to Mark Bell's Power Project. I listen to Keto Sap. I listen to a whole bunch of podcasts now. Like some days I have my moment where I listen to music, but for the most part, like I like to be educating myself while I'm working out, and I'm in the zone. So like I'm locked in, I'm just looking at that person in the mirror, and I'm listening to, whatever I'm listening to, and I'm just like feeding off that story and those same struggles that, all your guests have had, that we've shared. And it's just crazy, man. Like, and all you have to, like, the easy button is putting in the work.
Oh,
like, that's what a lot of people don't realize. There's no shortcut to this. It's nothing like that. You got to get off your ass. You got to get off your ass.
And I mean, comparing what you can do on ACG to comparing what you can do on keto, I mean, that's two different worlds. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I was in your position, I would have said, yeah, if you're telling me I can eat steak, cheese, eggs compared to taking drops under my tongue and, gasping deep breath, then yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Definitely.
Because definitely on the outside, I mean, that's what I've always loved about keto. I mean, like, I would never say that I am, to the book hardcore keto, but, I am very low carb, high protein diet, eggs, cheese, meat. To me, that's more attractive than anything else, on a quote unquote diet. I rather, give back the bread and, eat the protein. That's just how I've always been. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just more filling to me. Once you break that addiction of carbs and the sugar and, all that comes with it. But I could see how that was, a very easy transition.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know. It was just it's so easy for me. Like I said, it was like there were so many more options, and then all I had to do was just stick to it,
Right.
and then just be at the gym every night,
Mm-hmm.
get my certain amount of water every night, and then like I was also on other people's DMs, like just picking their brain, messaging Poro, hey man, I
Right.
saw you're in Florida.
Right.
And then look at him now. He's like the homie, bro. And
Yeah.
like I showed it all the time, and it's just brought so much, man. And I'm just so happy for it. And you know, but the transition, like, I felt was easy, like,
Yeah.
because I went from hardly anything to having so many more options. And people feel overwhelmed at first because they just think it's another, you know, diet, and it's not. Like I tell everyone, paleo works, you know, being a vegan works. It's whatever works best for you that you enjoy.
Right.
You know, that's what's gonna work.
Exactly.
You get me? I'm not gonna be talking bad about anybody. I mean, like, people, like, I've had people vegan. I've had all of them in my DMs and been like, hey, like, you're eating too much. And I'm like, just like, hey man, like I follow the diet that I like, and that's what matters to me, and it's changed my body completely. Like, I'm still getting to know this guy. Like,
Right.
I really am. Like, looking in the mirror is just fucking crazy.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I love that line right there, though. Of just like, I'm still getting to know myself of the standpoint of what is my body like? How do I sustain well? Because I have a question, because like it seems the other thing too is, as you kind of matured into the perfect timing of keto and you really dove into learning from people who have got results, learning to really educate yourself on, all right, what is food? How does food work? What do I need to do? Did you have the struggle at all? Because one of the things, actually, I was with Primal Bro and everything. One of the things we always talk about with keto, the issue you fall into is so many people get the misconception of calories. Like, well, if I'm 20 carbs, it doesn't matter what kind of calories I'm at. Did you fall into that, or did you learn really early on to at least understand the calories you were eating while focusing on that keto diet?
Yeah, man. I mean, I set up my macros. At first, I believe they were like 1,800 were my calories, and then I just kept everything, you know, 70% fat, 25% protein, 5% carbs, and then, you know, as I started lifting more, because like the first 3 weeks on keto, I was just focusing on cardio.
Okay.
Just doing a lot of like battle ropes, treadmill, stairs, elliptical, you name it, walking, you know, jogging, all that stuff. And then, you know, I started lifting after that. And then I've always done full body. I've never been one to like separate muscle groups or whatever. So I first just started doing just, you know, one exercise per muscle group. Then it went to 2 exercises per muscle group. Then I started just saving legs for another day and cardio for another day. And then now I do like full body, but with a focus. Like today I did a full body with a shoulder focus. So I'll do 4 different exercises for shoulder, and then 1 exercise for every other muscle group after that. And mostly everything I do is like superset. So like
Superset's my game.
Dude, I love supersetting, bro. Like just that no rest, like pushing yourself. And that's what I'm talking about as far as like how I'm still getting to know this person, like pushing myself to see how far I can go. You know, spoke about it with Poro yesterday about box jumps and stuff. Like right now I'm at 24-inch box jumps, and you know, he's like, oh, I have PTSD from the box jump. I'm like, dude, I mean, you just got to put it into your head. Your mind's the most powerful thing. You just got to put it into your head. Just fucking jump.
Right.
As high as you fucking can. And, you know, so that's my whole thought of it. But I jump into things now that I am afraid of.
Oh yeah.
First time Alex hit me up was like, hey, let's do CrossFit or whatever. And I'm like, shit, I've never done CrossFit before in my whole entire life. I'm down. Let's do it. And it killed me, but I loved it. I really did.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Fire away.
No, I mean, I feel like, you know, we all come to a point in this journey where we stop fearing fear and we start looking fear in the eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a totally different ball game. Like you said, you're still learning who you are. You still have, you know, this pattern of trying to to go to the next level and not have your past kind of hold you back. You know, I feel like that's a problem that we've all kind of had, is that every time we would try to approach something new, you know, when we were, you know, let's say our past life, it was, you know, all our fears were holding us back, but now it's our fears that are pushing us forward. And that's the beautiful part of this journey, is that it again, not to, you know, to try to bring it full circle, it's a lot of up here, you know. You know, your body will follow suit, but it all begins in your mind.
Yep. The old me would the minute I go to the gym, I get sore. I'm like, I'm not going back. A rainy day really gets to me. And like, I just tell myself, get dressed at the gym. Mondays, I always have a case of the Mondays. I don't like Mondays. I was born on a Monday, but we get it.
Yeah.
You feel me? We get it. Like, I think now, especially with this whole pandemic thing going on, it's the perfect time for people to build a routine. Mm-hmm. Why do I say that? Because, I mean, now things are starting to open up, and I mean, I feel things are starting to get a little bit better. But in the middle of the whole pandemic, like, we were shut down. There was nothing to do. So everybody looked at that as, oh, let me gain weight. Why? Like, there's no 5 o'clock happy hour. There's no temptation to go to this restaurant or that restaurant. Like, take control, build habits.
Come on, you went on TikTok nature. And you went on TikTok and you made little all the different like shooting videos of like bouncing a ball off of 6 different things to get it in the hoop. That's what you spent your time on. Don't deny it.
No. My wife is the TikTok person. She likes TikTok. I don't even know how to use TikTok, to be honest with you. I'm still learning Reels. So,
but yeah. I haven't even dived into that yet. I don't even care enough.
No, they're clutch, man. They're
you
cool.
like Reels?
They get a lot of attention. They get a lot of attention. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went on. So I kind of interrupted you there, but you said you were kind of going on hikes and stuff more during the pandemic.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that during quarantine, you went on hikes and stuff more. Is that what you were saying?
Well, not really like hikes. Just I have like a walking trail here in my complex that I live in. You know, I have a staircase right next to me. I started to get a lot more natural vitamin D, you know, being out in the sun, all that stuff. I was testing out my miles, like, and just not even planning it.
You were testing your miles?
Yeah, like
what were you running?
Okay, high school, freshman year, I was in weight training class. That's where I was when September 11th happened. Freshman year, weight training class. We didn't change into gym clothes. We were in the weight room just watching everything on the TV. It was crazy. But I remember doing the mile test with the coach. Whole class did it. Of course, fat boy was last. And
what'd you run?
Like 16 minutes or something
16?
like that. It was pretty bad. So about like a month ago or whatever, I was walking and my wife got me a Fitbit Versa 2, and I was like, let me test my mile or whatever. So I just took off, and whatever. All right, I'll stop when I get here. When I get there, I'm like, don't stop, keep going more. And I kept on going. Next thing you know, it hits a mile and it's 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm like, what? Okay. And that was like big for me.
Yeah,
yeah. And then 2 weeks later, I tried it again, and I got a whole minute knocked off. I was 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
That was the same thing with me.
Yeah.
So I was in the same position, like during quarantine, out with the gyms closed. Like, shoot, I got to find something, and so I got big into running as well. And my first mile run, I was at like 9:17, my first mile. And then a month, probably 5 weeks later of running miles, I ran a 7:59. And I was like, I dropped 2 minutes off in 5 weeks. I was busting my ass. It was fun. Like I got really emotional when I ran that 7:59. I was like, holy
That's
shit.
So dope, bro. That's so dope. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just that little things like that, total non-scale victory. When it happened, like, took a picture of the time. I sent it to everybody. I was like, yo, check this out. And I'm like, last time, like, I did this, it was like 10 minutes. And then before that, it was like 16 minutes. And like, I've come a long way. And I have 2 screws in my ankle. I'm flat-footed. My knee is taking My knee has taken hits for many, many years. It's just really, really, really bad from the bottom waist down. So for me to run for that period of time, like sprints I can do, because sprints is just, you take off and then all of a sudden you stop.
Right.
You know, it's a burst of energy. And then, but with staying in pace and, you know, having, you know, perfect breathing and everything, like it was always hard for me. And now with this new body, I was able to kill it, man. And then like sleeping is just so much better too. Like you don't even hear me anymore. However, when I do have my planned cheat meals, which I just was at Universal this past weekend, ate anything and everything in sight. But just, you know, I just know in my head, I'm going to get back to routine. When I step on the scale, it's not going to be a real number. It's going to be, you know, water weight or whatever. And I'm just going to get back in routine. It's just, that's the difference. Like,
right.
Back then, like I would book hotels, go on vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm not going to work out. Yeah, right. First time on keto, like when I went to DR, I was there maybe 4 days, worked out one, and it was a beautiful gym. You know, took advantage. Now every time I go on vacation, if I stay there 3 days, I might work out 1 day, maybe 2 days, you know, and that's like how it is now. I tell my wife, book something with a gym.
Gym,
so I
yeah.
can get in some type of workout. I know I'm going to eat like shit. However, I do know I'm going to walk a line. I'm going to crush 25K in steps.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so easily. But
I was at Disney last summer, and the first day we were there, we did like 24 miles in like less than 12 hours. It was wild. Like it was ridiculous the amount of steps you do and shit.
Without you even noticing, like it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think that shift was? Like, do you think it was just momentum for you and just like the momentum of belief? What changed in you from 350 plus, jumping around from HCG to all these different programs, nothing really working, to like diving into keto, to implementing just like accountability? Like what do you think was the shift?
I mean, you could just tell that I was just going about it differently, because I was just, every day it was just trying to find answers to something. And I told myself, I gotta be surrounded by it.
Right.
And what do I mean by that? And I tell my clients the same thing. Go on social media and just start following everybody that's just like my page, just like your page, just like everybody who's on the same mission. And that way, when you're scrolling on the social media, that's all you see. You see people pushing it. You see people with recipes. You see different exercises. You see that this person got it in today. So it makes you want to get it in. So like I said, like I didn't even have plans to do an Instagram for the whole keto thing. That was friends in my ear, like, yo, you have your personal one. You're doing so good. We feel like you can help a lot of people, you know, do an Instagram. And best decision of my life, because without that, I wouldn't even know you guys right now. Like, so it's crazy. But it was stuff like that. Like I just started following different people, you know, Gormy being one of them, and, you know, just started looking up YouTube videos and just started learning about, you know, nutrition, more about fasting, you know, what's the best food to break your fast, all sorts of things. What's, you know, certain snacks to have, you know, what's good snacks, what certain carbs to have on keto before, you know, you work out, after you work out, stuff like that. I also did a 3-day fast for 72 hours. I did that one time.
How was your experience on that?
You just get in your head a little bit at first, but you just got to treat it like if nothing. I mean, when I first went to DR and I was going to cheat for the first time, I was freaking out. And I was contacting everybody, and I was like, what do I do? And they're all just like, yo, just go, have a good time, come back, hit it. That's it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the same thing with, you know, the whole 3-day fast. I was all up into my head about it. And I was like, do I work out? Like, am I going to be okay? And everybody was just like, treat it like it's normal. And you're going to see that energy spike. And I did 100%. On the third day. On the third day, I was like, I can go 2 more days. Like, right. So it kicked in and whatever, and it felt great. I also dabbled with carnivore in January and in March of this year, and that was when my body like took a turn for like the best. Like I got my first bicep veins. Like I was noticing the change in my physique, because like I do keto, but like it's mostly like carnivore based keto.
Right.
very, very little carbs. If I do carbs, it's total carbs like during the week, net carbs on the weekend or whatever, stuff like that. But it was just, just not giving up, man. That was just the main thing. And like I tell my clients, flood your feed, look up YouTube videos. If I'm not around, Google's a good source, Also, don't believe everything you hear, but at the same time, you got to pick your battles or whatever. But a lot of the stuff was, I had a lot of people in my corner as well. I had help from two guys named Jesus that I basically, one I went to school with, one I basically grew up with, and they were both on keto. And I was asking them for, advice. What type of supplements should I take? And that's another thing. I didn't really take much supplements. I just started taking pre-workout maybe like 2 months ago.
Oh
yeah.
I love.
So I accomplished everything with, 135 pounds in about a year with nothing, just eating, with just fixing my diet.
So now what made you take a more scientific approach this time around? You know what I'm saying? Like you really dove into like really learning about keto and filling your mind with the knowledge of what you had to do. What made you take that route?
I don't know. I guess it's all part of being older.
Yeah.
Like you just want to read more. And I don't know, like I was feeling great and I started to become addicted to the feeling of feeling great.
Great. Yeah.
And just seeing my body transform. That's one of the things I love about the gym that I go to. Like it's like mirror right there, and you're looking. Like I look at myself, and it's not to toot my own horn or to be a cocky thing or an ego thing. It's I'm looking at somebody I've never seen before.
Good.
Yeah, no, and you should think that. If you didn't think that, that's a problem.
Yeah, like you can't look at that mirror and think you're still a piece of shit. No, you have to believe that you're the freaking best.
Absolutely.
And that you're the hardest worker in the room. Like that's just the way that you gotta do it. Yesterday, when I walked into Redcon 1 gym, the old me probably would have been scared as shit to walk into that place because I've seen Alex work out there and it looks beautiful. And I told him I really want to take advantage because I know that there's a lot of like crazy machines there and a lot more stuff than the gym that I have. I can't even regularly do bench because all I have is a Smith machine. So I just, hook it. I have no spotter, nothing. I can't do like squats how I really want to or whatever. So, but walking into that gym, like I think the 355-pound me would have been like,
yeah,
oh shit, everybody's looking at me like, oh my God, I don't belong here. But bro, I walked in there with my chin up, like if I belong. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing beasts next to me. And I'm like, holy shit. Like everybody in here is jacked. And then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, but so the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly.
And you fucking belong here. So I was like, I belong.
No, I love that. No, I really do. I love that a lot. Yeah.
That was the same thing with me when it came to like, there's something about momentum where like, not everyone always has this like flip of the switch, like big momentum of like, I can tell you the time and day when I made this shift.
It's an everyday battle.
It's interesting because mine came from, I will say the biggest shift for me was that 50-pound mark. When I hit 50 pounds down after reading books and different stuff into how I see food, how I see myself, how I see my habits, that like when I hit that 50-pound mark, I was like, holy shit, there's a lot of information I don't know on how to live the best life I can live. I'm going to learn from some people. And so it sounds like it was very similar for you, like that you just got really addicted to learning new things you had no idea.
Always a student of the game, man. Beginner once and always a student, bro. And like I'm always learning. I still have several people that I reach out to, whether they be on keto or not, maybe they know a trick or something that I don't know. Just be open to things, Poro just started giving me freaking pre-workouts now or whatever. So giving those a try, it's all different. I'm now trying like doing carb ups, like refeeds, but on keto food, like on Saturdays, like I'm trying different things because I started off the year, I want to say at like 237, 238. And I'm still trying to get to my original goal of 220, but I've had several things. I got married, I had my birthday, my wife's birthday, this whole pandemic thing threw us off a little bit, you know, and then, you know, we've had several trips to Orlando, and, you know, plan cheats, and I always rebound from them. I'm fine. And that's the mentality you got to have. You just got to have that mentality of, I'm going to get back to work when I get home, you know, right. I'm going to go for a walk or whatever. And I tell my clients, I'm not asking you to go in there and lift or lift like me, you know. If you do, that's a plus, but everybody's got time for a 30-minute walk, 45-minute walk. Just make the time. Just make the time. You have the time. And just, like I said, it was every day. I couldn't do this without the support of, you know, my family, my wife, my parents, because my parent, like I said, I was living with my parents during the whole weight loss. So they understood.
How'd they do with that?
Huh?
How'd they do with that? Like, are they overweight at all, or are they pretty fit?
No. My dad comes from an athletic background. He played baseball growing up, softball. He did like a little bit of amateur bodybuilding, like nothing competing or whatever, but he lifted. He looked really jacked, you know, back in the day. But no, like he's always been athletic. My mom too has never been overweight. We're not an overweight family. I was basically everybody's dark haired, tan. I came out blonde, white, and overweight. So it was like, who's this kid? Like, Mom, are you sure? I'm really like,
am I supposed to be here?
But no, like they were behind me 100%. And they, you know, my dad was always telling me, you know, take advantage now while you're young, because as you get older, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder. And you don't want to have to deal with that. And my dad has had a lot of, you know, health issues in the past. He's doing great now. Thank you, God. But, you know, he's had a lot of health issues back in the day. So, you know, but he's told me and he's the one who keeps telling me, he goes, go to 200, go to 200. And I'm like, I'm still struggling to get to 220. Let's see when I get to 220 where I want to go. But he keeps telling me, he goes, I think you can do it. You can make it to 200. And then every single time, like, he sees me now, like, I haven't hugged my parents and I don't know how long. Like, we see them from the balcony. Like, we've gone for the whole drive-by birthday thing and anniversary thing during this whole pandemic. But you know, just when he sees me from far or whatever, he's always telling me how great I look and that I'm looking tremendous, and you know, that he's so proud of me. My mom is you know, so proud of me or whatever. And yeah, man, they eat good as far as like, well, you know, they pretty much fast too, because they at 5 o'clock they cut off and they don't eat after 5 o'clock. They go out and they go to like some parking lot or whatever, like away from everybody, and they do their rounds of walking and stuff like that. So, but they're seeing all that, especially now since like the whole family, like we're all working out together on certain days and doing boxing workouts. Like they're loving all that, and that we're all like together. So they're behind me, man.
What was it like when you were growing up, though? Do you think that like what were some of the things your parents were saying to you? Were they pointing out to you that you were heavy? Were they telling you, hey, you know, David, you need to kind of take a step back? Were they kind of enabling you? Like, what was their outlook on you growing up?
No, I mean, it's been, you know, we've talked about it a billion times. I even had coaches in baseball that wouldn't play me or start me or whatever, because they just thought I was the slow fat boy. You know, my dad would have conversations with them, and then he would have conversations with me and tell me, yo, like, you need to lose weight. You know, I tried different things. I just couldn't stick to it. I guess my plan wasn't, I guess, until I hit my 30s or whatever. Right. Like, I wish I could have done this a long time ago.
Was it a food addiction thing? Like, what do you think it was to you?
Oh, a mixture of everything, man. I mean, even before I moved out of my parents' house, like under my clothes, you spread it out, wrappers to
there we go. This is what we wanted to hear. I need to hear this. So eating.
Wrappers to Oreos,
here we go.
Pringles. You would catch me at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, basically making sandwiches with all the deli meat around me on my bed. Yeah, being a complete fat ass, watching movies till like 3-4 in the morning. The whole nine. My parents have no idea what the hell's going on. Going to Taco Bell, ordering $20, you know, up to $20 in food, and just sitting on my bed watching TV and just freaking eating all that shit. When I was a kid in elementary school, didn't like school. didn't want to be there. So I would do everything possible to get out. And that meant going to the clinic a lot. And my dad would pick me up early. He was always, I don't know why, but my dad's usually the hard ass. My mom is the, little softer one. But when it came to school, my mom was like, you better get your ass back to school. Yeah. My dad was, I don't know, he was just more lenient with it. And he would pick me up, and two things that will make me go like, oh, my tummy hurts. And all of a sudden I'd bring a big smile. Taco Bell or the pool. Yeah. Or the pool in my complex. I would love to go to the pool. So he'll tell me, you want to go to Taco Bell? And I'll be like, and I'm like, let's do it. And yeah, man. And that was just like, another thing too is like, I never had a grandmother. Right. I know that's very big in a Hispanic culture to have a grandmother. My grandparents passed away at a young age. My grandparents on my mom's side when she was in high school. My grandmother on my dad's side died when he was like 2 in Cuba. So he like has very small memories of her. And then we just had my grandfather. And so I didn't have abuela's cooking or nothing like that. If I did have abuela's cooking, it was like at my friend's house or something. And they would always tell me the same thing that Nana would say, oh, you're so fat. Oh, but sit down and eat. You know,
yeah, of course.
Like stuff like, it was always like that. And as far as what I ate at home, my parents knew the basics as far as like cooking rice and steak and stuff like that, and certain Cuban meals. But for the most part, like a lot of it was just pop in the oven or 69-cent cheeseburgers at McDonald's or, whatever coupon we found. Like we're not poor, but like we're like middle class, whatever you do to have to get through it, And so yeah, man, that's basically how I was. And then drinking soda, like there's no tomorrow. Cuban coffee since birth. As far as sodas, like that was my thing. My dad was never much of a beer drinker. I was introduced to like root beer and Dr. Pepper at a young age. Those are my jams right there.
Right.
So yeah, man, that's basically how eating was as a kid. And then, like I said, they would always, as a young kid, I battled, diets and I remember going into acupuncture at like 11, 12, 13 years old. And I'm in there with a bunch of adults,
right.
And they're all looking at me like, wow, like you're here, you're young and you shouldn't be here or whatever. And so I dealt with a lot of it, man. I think in like 7th grade until I got into like 7 fights. I got like suspended for like 3 or 4.
What were some of the things that people used to say to you in high school or middle school?
Oh, I mean, one fight specifically, I had a wrestling teammate of mine. That's where I broke my ankle. I was on the wrestling team. And one of my teammates, man, like, he was just freaking like ranking on me and he didn't stop. And I was like, he got up in my face and I was like, bro, call me fat boy one more time, bro. Do it. I dare you. And he did it and he caught a fist right to the face. And then we started a rumble right there in class. And then, all
right, I got to tell you what, I had this one kid. It was Austin, my buddy Austin. It was senior year of high school. And the kid was at my house and just wouldn't stop giving me titty twisters. Just wouldn't stop. Just over and over. I'm sitting on the couch just watching a movie or whatever we're doing, and he walk over, titty twister, titty twister, titty twister. I was like, Austin, if you come over here one more time and you give me a titty twister, I'm choking your ass out.
I'm not responsible for what happens after you do that.
I dead ass was like locked in eye to eye. I'm like this is, I don't snap often, but when I do, it's we're hiding the body. And like he did it. And sure enough, I grabbed him by the shirt before he got away, pulled him back, rear naked, literally limped. And I dropped him and he went, whop. And all of a sudden about 13 seconds later, what? And he's like, did you choke me out? I was like, I told you I was going to choke you out if you did it again. I actually choked him out.
And then it's funny because like some of those people that made fun of you, they're reaching out to you now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It comes full circle.
Always
you peaked
does.
in high school and then all of a sudden now you're coming to the fat boy for advice.
Right.
And I mean, I don't hold grudges, man. It was a lifetime ago. Like high school to me was whatever. I'm not going to say those were the best years of my life because I was obese. I can't say that I feel like I did when I was 18 because I was obese at 18. I can't tell you I felt like I did when I was 13 because I was obese at 13. Like I've always been obese. So just feeling like this is just new. And then getting messages from people all over the world. I have a client right now in the UK, dude. Like I reached somebody in the UK.
That's
Like
awesome.
somebody in the UK reached out to me and was like, I've seen your progress. I want your help. And I'm like, holy shit. Like it's crazy the amount of people that you helped during this process or whatever. And then all the non-scale victories, like I'm wearing a size large now in shirts.
Let's go.
I'm pretty sure like I'm wearing tank tops now, you know, showing the gun. Yeah. But fitting into roller coasters, that was another big thing for me, man. Yep. And the walk of shame and, you know, just you're waiting in a 2-hour line and then to be told, hey, you don't fit, you got to get off.
When was that?
When wasn't that?
Right. Well, you actually tried it more than once.
Oh, no. See, I got the denial and then I never did it again.
I'm the same way. I got denied one time and I was like, I ain't.
And then it was like 15 years later.
When it comes to Disney, because my wife and I, we're currently Universal Pass holders. We were both Universal and Disney. But Disney, and Gourmet can tell you, Disney is a lot more plus size friendly.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So you can basically, I've ridden Space Mountain and been 350 something pounds. Lots of rides I've been able to ride. Universal, on the other hand, I would have to look up forums and Google and all that stuff before my trip to look at and see what rides I can ride that I won't have an issue with, what rides have modified seating, stuff like that. Stuff that I shouldn't even have to be looking at, but I was.
Yeah, so Universal's like a reality snap, and Disney's just like, no, it's all right. Anyone can ride our rides. It's fine. Yeah, get on. No problem, fatty. Get in here.
And then the Hulk was like fucking huge, yet you sit in his ride and you got to be a fucking model.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the best roller coaster, and it's just so sad.
Yeah, but yeah, I would have to get the one with the double straps or whatever, and then I would always click it. And I was like, okay, there's the first clip, but I know that there's like 2 more. And then Buddy would have to come, push me down. Then another buddy would have to come, push me down. And then some days it would work, some days it won't. But the last straw, right before I hopped on keto, was I think Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey?
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I think it was Forbidden Journey, and I couldn't ride it. And I was pissed.
I was pissed.
I was really, really pissed. And another roller coaster that I didn't get to experience at Universal was the Rock and Rip Rocket that closes sideways, through your midsection. And you get to put music on the whole 9. Just recently, I got to ride it for the first time. And it was crazy. Like just being able to sit down and you fit like a glove, like Ace Ventura, like a glove.
Yep.
Like,
the Rip Rocket is tight. Rip Rocket is very tight. So I went to Universal 3 years ago, I think, and that was the only ride I could not get on, and it was like right in like the middle of my journey. I was like down, I don't know, like 150 to 175 pounds, and that was the only ride that day in Universal I couldn't get on. I was pissed. I was so mad on that ride.
Yeah, but that ride is a little scary because it starts off like you're going straight up, so you're like going up for a while. Like we were with some group of friends and they were like freaking out, and like we didn't think that they were gonna do it, but they just kept on walking and following us, and they hopped on, and they were like, bro, that beginning sucks. And I'm like, yeah, but once you get over that beginning, you're fine. But just, you know, fitting into everything else, man, it felt great. Like one of the first times that I rode it, or that I tried to ride it, they gave me a little ticket, you know, for Express Pass. Oh, you can redeem that at any ride. I'm like, I don't want to redeem it at any ride. I want to ride this.
Right.
But I just couldn't, man. So that was another thing that even scared me. And the first time after losing so much weight, being in the theme park, I remember a big dude going in right before me I can't even remember the ride, to be honest with you. I want to say, I think Everest. Yeah. In Animal Kingdom in Disney. I think it was that roller coaster. It could have been that one. Buddy's in front of me. He's tall. You know, I want to say like 6'1", 6'2". I'm 6 feet. And he had some weight on him. And he goes in and he sits down, and it didn't click for him. So they had to tell him to get off the ride. Like a part of me died for him.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was freaking out myself because I'm like, I'm not gonna fit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fit. My wife's telling me, relax, you're gonna fit. Relax, you're gonna fit. Brought it down, clicked, and I'm like, okay. And then comes the person, checks, and they're like, you're good. And I'm like, whoa. whoa, 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 are you sure?
Are you? Yeah.
And they're like, no, 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 yeah, you're good. There's the green light. And I'm like,
Okay.
the green light's okay, all right, all right. And I just looked at my wife, and it was just like,
Yeah.
like balling, dude. Like, it was just so emotional. It was
See,
an amazing feeling, man. To just, you're so limited, you know, when you're living that big, man. And
Oh, 100%. I
it's
love the who's the fluffy guy again? What's the comedian?
Oh,
Gabriel
Gabriel.
Gabriel
Yeah.
Iglesias, where it's like all the fat guys would go to a amusement park and see how many clicks they would get, and that would decide on who's the
Yeah.
fattest.
Yeah.
yeah,
Three clicks.
yeah, man. But it's been an incredible journey, man. And I'm just happy that I woke up. Like, I really am happy that I woke up.
So why don't we fast forward for a second? When did you get into coaching, and what made you, go that route and start, doing some keto coaching?
It kind of landed on my lap, to be honest with you. In December of last year, a coworker of mine reached out to me, ex-coworker of mine. He's a car salesman, and he told me, "Listen, I have two daughters. You know, they had, the sleeve surgery or whatever. They've lost 70 pounds, but they're eating like shit. Like, they don't know nothing about nutrition. So I will pay you so and so amount a month, to be their coach, set them up with some workouts, set them up, with recipes and grocery lists, the whole nine, take them to the grocery store and do what you got to do." So he kind of like set up pricing for me, and I kind of like got me to like set up a recipes and grocery lists and certain like, body weight workouts that they can do. And, I started to develop a restaurant fast food guide for them, if they're on the go or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, man, they brought me more and more clients. They started to have success, and it just spiraled after that, man. And then I started making like little BS flyers or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, I started doing like nicer ones and then just putting them out there on on my story. I'm not going to be in people's DMs and be like, "Yo, man, I should be your coach." And no,
Oh, yeah, of
I don't
course.
like those guys coming into my DMs.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I want you to come to me, and I want to hear your story. And
Yep.
I will either FaceTime with you or call you, because I want to hear your voice, or I want to look you in the face and I want to see how serious you are.
Right.
And I want them to know that this isn't a quick fix. This is a life-changing experience. You
Right.
get me? This is you giving this lifestyle a chance, and it's not going to happen with, yeah, you'll have success by just doing keto and just doing intermittent fasting, but I feel like you'll speed up the results and have a lot more success if you're active.
Oh,
It's
100%.
just, there's no way in hell that being active is going to be bad for you.
Right.
You get me? Like, it's just going to benefit you. So, and I tell them, do body weight stuff, push-ups, calisthenics, band work, walking outside, lunges. I hate lunges,
Yeah.
but we do them, and I'm getting better at them. I can handle them a lot more, especially, dropping all this weight and being stronger. And it's just, you got to try new things. So
Right.
I tell them, I was lost as far as when I started tracking on MyFitnessPal. It was the moon to me.
Right.
But guess what? I played around with the app just like I do any other app, or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever games are out there. Just like how everybody learns that, they can learn MyFitnessPal. So as I've gotten older, you just realize, and as I've gone through this process, that there really is no excuse, man. Like, I know it's hard, and I've been there. I know the daily struggles of not wanting to do shit. I know the daily struggles of wanting to eat Taco Bell or whatever it is you want. But guess what? You've had all that for your whole life. So take your life seriously. And if you really want to change and you don't want to end up with diseases or medical issues, fix your life, man. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, everything is just so much better. Everything. Like, I have crazy amount of energy right now. Like, it's insane, man. And I push for everybody to do the same. And
you just want to share that with people, right? Like, don't you just want everyone to be on the same level as you?
Yeah. Like, if you message me, man, like, and you ask me a couple of questions, I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I charge for this." No, man,
no, of course.
I'm going to help you out. But if you look for my coaching services, then yeah. And I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, I don't charge what anybody else charges. I'm still, doing my thing and learning myself. And I'm just passing on information. I'm just showing you, hey, this is what worked for me. Will it work for you? Most likely, yeah. You get me? But you have to enjoy it, and you have to want it, man, because nobody's going to do it for you. I have a Special Olympic athlete, because I told you guys I've been coaching Special Olympics for 13 years now. I have a Special Olympic athlete of mine. He's like your size, John. He's a big dude. And he was, when I first started with him and first met him, in 295, close to 300. Buddy, I went with him around the same time that these girls started with me. I kind of took him on, and I don't charge him.
Right.
And I took him to Costco, and we did a grocery run and all that stuff. And Buddy literally does not make a move or have a cheat meal without texting me first.
That's
and sometimes I laugh because he's over 80 pounds already, lost, and he'll text me, "Hey coach, can I have a cheat meal?" And I'm like, "Dude, you've busted your ass, man. If you want to plan to have a cheat meal, have it, and just don't post it because I have a Facebook group as well, part of my coaching thing, and it's an accountability page. Basically, you post your meals and you post your workouts there, and that right there is a lot, because that's another thing I was part of. I was part of a group on Facebook called Fit, Healthy, Abundant. Not labeled keto, not labeled any diet. It was just basically, hey, post your meals every single day. That kept me in check.
Right.
That literally kept me in check. So I was like, I'm going to do the same thing, except, have us, interact a lot more. I am going to do some lives every day to make sure that everybody's on top of their shit, provide workouts. And then if you want to share your workout or your run or your steps or whatever you're doing, share it. And that right there has brought my clients together. My clients have spoken to each other, they're building relationships. I have one client that, like I said, is in the UK, and I have another client that's over here in Florida, and she's going to go to Europe to go visit him, and they're going to go backpacking throughout Europe. Ain't that some freaking awesome shit? That's awesome. So, just the fact that I was just able to help with that is just amazing, man. So I tell them, I'm like, just don't give up. Just trust the process. If you're active every day, you're drinking your water, you're busting your ass, and you're tracking, and I tell them, hey, tracking's a pain in the ass. I admit that tracking is a pain in the ass, especially for me. But is it efficient? Yes. If you really want to get to your goal weight ASAP or whatever, and you really want to be strict, I'd suggest you track. Right. But yeah, man, it's just been an incredible journey with this whole thing, and with the whole coaching thing. It's just expanding more and more, and
well, it keeps you learning too,
Huh?
I said it keeps you learning.
Of course, because it's they throw certain curveballs at me sometimes, and they're what about this? And then I'm like, that's a good question. I'm like, let me look into that. And then, it brings up new things that I didn't even know about or whatever. And I tell them straight up, I'm like, sometimes I don't have all the answers, man, but that's why there's Google, YouTube, and all that stuff. Don't just learn from me. I'm going to be there to motivate you and help you answer any questions that I may have. If there's a restaurant that you're going to, I've probably been there. I can tell you, or whatever type of restaurant it is, I help you get something in that restaurant or whatever if you're on the go.
Right.
I'm always there to help. They can call me anytime, and I'm always there to answer.
No, that's awesome, bro. And really quick, before we wrap stuff up and we, ask our final questions, I wanted you just to, touch upon, how did you get into the Special Olympics realm, and how did you start coaching, doing that?
When I was about 18 or 19 years old, I had a friend of mine named Mike, and his girlfriend at the time, she worked for one of the cities here in Miami, and she basically, I was looking for a job. The only thing that I had under my belt, I think, was working at after-school programs as a counselor, some restaurants, Nike, Oakley, and probably some fast food restaurants as well. So yeah, she kind of put me down and kind of hooked me up with a job, and it was basically working with the special populations. That's what they called it, for that job. And it was basically, I had a class of adults with intellectual disabilities. I would pick them up from their houses. I had a route in the morning, route in the afternoon to drop them back off. And then I would spend all day with them, teaching them daily living skills, Tai Chi, meditation. If they had any Special Olympic training or any events coming up, I would help them train for that. So right there, like I was like intrigued.
Right.
I was intrigued at that time. I didn't have a passion for it just yet. It was just a job. And then I'd say around like 24, 25, I got a job at another city. And then I just met a great group of guys, you know, and these guys had a range of, you know, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, Down syndrome, autism, all types of stuff. And it was the I love you every single day, the hugs every single day. It was just pure love every single day, man. And it made, you know, practices fun. You know, we laughed like crazy. And it just really got me, you know, to fall in love with, you know, with Special Olympics and what they do. And then I just started to get more deep into it. And then one of the athletes that I used to coach, his name is Daniel Fundora. Shout out to Danny. The dude was looking for a way to do more than just be an athlete. He has autism. And he even drives. He's a freaking badass. But yeah, he started to do athlete leadership program. And basically what athlete leadership program is for athletes who just want to do more than just be an athlete. They want to work on public speaking and, you know, going to events. They go to like Capitol Hill in DC. They go out to, you know, different events and they speak. And he wanted to work on that, and he's done amazing things. He was Athlete of the Year last year for South Florida. He's gone to the national games. He's gone to the World Games in Abu Dhabi. Like, he's been all over the map.
That's awesome.
And he texted me and he goes, David, like, I want to do this athlete leadership program, and I need a mentor in order to do the program. He goes, would you be my mentor? I'm like, blown away. I'm like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. And because of that, like, Special Olympics has sent me out to conferences with him. They even flew us out to Indianapolis 2 years ago back. So that was my first plane ride. I hadn't been on a plane before, nonetheless, out of Florida.
Right.
So I got to experience that. And it was just really fun, man. And, you know, I've been coaching ever since then. I'm also a unified partner. Unified partner, like, you guys can be unified partners. I guess if you want to say it's, you know, those with, it's a unified team is basically those with and without, you know, intellectual disabilities. So you, David, you guys can all play on the team. Wish you guys lived here because I can use some volunteers. But yeah, man, so they picked me to be their softball coach, which I was like, that's my bread and butter right there, boy. Yeah. Baseball's my game. So they picked me to be their coach or whatever, and I loved it. I was running practices, and they were just having a blast, and they were learning so much. And then my plan was this year, but freaking COVID happened, was to transition. I was going to hand the team off to somebody else, and I was going to be a unified partner. I was going to play a little bit of third and first base. And because I was like, listen, I really want to hit. I really want to hit. Please let me hit. I'm dying to play. So and I'm like, I can help us. Trust me. So, but then the whole COVID thing happened, and we haven't been able to have much sports. Now they're starting to kick it up a notch. I think they're starting, tennis coming up, but that's not really my sport. I participate in, for the most part, bowling, softball. I was a unified partner for basketball, so I was like, you know, Shaq under the rim or whatever, and you know, he's too long in the paint. I'm like, oh, crap, step out really quick. And, yeah. But I'm under the rim, dude. I'm like, get out of my way. I'm the rebound guy. Like,
that's awesome.
And I can tell you straight up, like, if you looked at my highlights, like, I suck at basketball, but I played because it was fun, and then it was also great exercise, you know?
Right.
But yeah, man. So I encourage everybody, you know, look up your local agencies, you know, your state, look for your state office, you know, in New York or whatever, and look for, you know, certain centers or schools or whatever that allow you to participate in Special Olympics.
Yeah, no, the gym that I go to is actually a Special Olympics partner. They have a Special Olympics lifting team and all that.
Yes,
it's awesome, dude. You know, my personal trainer actually trains one of the lifters on the team.
Steve?
Yeah, Steve does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dope. That's amazing. That's amazing. Dude. I've been trying to do like powerlifting and stuff over here. But obviously COVID happened. But I do have the plans of getting that started. But yeah, man, get involved, dude. It's nostalgic because a lot of them are into stuff that you were into as a kid. Like, they love wrestling. They love, bro. When I worked my first job working at that special population center, dude, one of them had that Hulk Hogan like pillow,
Yeah.
the dummy.
Uh-huh.
Dude, and I had that, and he had Ultimate Warrior too,
Oh, wow.
and I was like, oh my, dude, you just brought me back. They love
Right.
Michael Jackson, they love Elvis. Like,
That's so dope.
you can just be you around them, man. Like,
That's so cool.
it's just an amazing feeling. And then when you see them accomplish things and win medals and win ribbons and do stuff that you've been working your ass off for, and you see them do it,
Right.
like, it just brings so much joy, and there's more to life, man. And you see them and they don't know what bad is, bro. Like, they think everybody's good, and it's just I get emotional thinking about
Yeah, no,
them,
I can see it means a lot to you, man.
them, bro. Like,
Yeah, no, I see
I
it.
really do. I miss them during this time because, you know, we're supposed to be training right now.
Right.
Like, we're supposed to be training right now, but it is what it is.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. All right, listen. One, I really appreciate you coming on today. But before we wrap this up, I do have two very important questions that I like to ask at the end of the podcast. So the first one, David, for you, if you could go back in time and talk to that dude who was throwing down in the wrestling locker room, and you could offer him any piece of advice, or you could tell him anything in the world, what would that be?
Stop eating shit, man. Stop eating shit. And, you know, I know that everything happens for a reason, and, you know, it is what it is. Life happened. But I would just been like, yo, take it seriously and start and listen to people. Listen to people, because my brother was in my ear. My sister was in my ear. My dad was in my ear. Like, a lot of people were in my ear, and I was like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, so if I can say one thing, it's listen to people, and don't be afraid to give shit a try, and you know, but just stick to it. Stick to whatever it is you're doing, you know, but definitely, like, stop hiding all the wrappers under your clothes in your closet. That's one of the things I'll say. Like, stop doing that shit.
Yeah. Bro, I used to hide them behind the washing machine in my basement, so I know. I feel you.
God.
So, and now my my other question is, if you could offer 3 solid pieces of advice to everyone listening at home, what would those be?
If you're really gonna start this, start. If you're gonna stick to it, please, like, stay consistent. Just don't give up, man. Don't give up, because you'll surprise yourself. You really will. You'll see that there's a whole nother side of you just waiting to be unlocked, man. And that's how it was with me. Like, I feel like I let the beast out now. Like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this guy, bro? And I'm like, I'm so happy I met him, because he's driven. He wants to do shit. He, you know, the old guy was just like, I'm gonna go have a public sub or Taco Bell or whatever and watch whatever movie or whatever till like 2, 3 in the morning. That's another thing. I get like really good sleep now. Sleep is very important. But just basically, like, make the decision. Once you make the decision, stick to it and don't give up, man.
I love that. I love that. Where can people find you on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram at keto_D. You can also, you know, reach out to me there through DM or message or whatever. And you can also email me at ketodcoaching@gmail.com.
So is that the best place for people to, you know, inquire about coaching?
Well, I get more people on my DMs than I do on email, but I do get a lot of people on email, like, just inquiring and, you know, asking questions. And I'm not going to chew you up if you're asking questions, but, you know, when I write on my story, serious inquiries only, it's because I want you to be sure about your decision before you reach out to me. I don't want you to do this half-ass. I want you to do this full ass.
Full ass.
Full ass.
Full ass and fast. Now,
I want the whole ass.
We'll post up your email address and everything in the description of the YouTube video and whatnot.
Yeah.
But once again, brother, I really appreciate you taking some time out tonight and sharing your story. And it's very inspirational, man. I learned a couple of things tonight. I know David, that guy right there, he learned a couple of things tonight.
Sally.
Hi, Sally. And yeah, man. So thanks again. And for all you listening at home, again, you can follow us. You can follow me at JARPS_journey. You can follow him at _DRock. You can follow the Accountable Life Group at Accountable Life Group, and DM us for access to the Accountable Life Group community call. We go live every Wednesday night at 8:30. If you're listening this far, this is the end of the podcast. We really don't have anything else to say. David, would you like to add anything?
Show them the belly button.
No belly button today. No belly button today.
You know what? If you're listening to this right now, go for a walk.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. No,
Mic drop.
Hey, but thank you guys so much for having me. Like, you guys have had tremendous stories yourself. I'm just honored and blessed. Sit down, be humble.
Oh yeah, I wanted to comment on that earlier. I love that sign.
That's wifey, dude. I have a picture of J. Cole on my wall. I have a picture of Kendrick Lamar. Like, we know what's up. We know what's up.
All right, my brother, I appreciate you once again. You enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will talk probably in a little bit on Instagram, but enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
All right, brother. Peace.